Hey, what's going on? It's Steve Grillo. We're anxiously waiting. Geno Visconti. We're going to discuss what happened on Friday. For those of you who don't know, I can give you a little preliminary. By the way, I'm in my new apartment. It's a little echoey because it's so empty. This is the best I can do for a decoration right now. I have, when I came here, I had no furniture or anything. Hold on a second. And Okay, so I'm trying to get double live coverage. So I'm doing live on my camera for on Instagram over here. It's filming my computer, and if you're on Instagram, I'm not going to be able to see who's on. I can take a look every now and again, but we're going to discuss what's going on with Stuttering John Anthony Cumia. There was quite the interesting situation that happened on Friday night in New York City. John, these people they torment this poor guy, and he's got. Listen, we all know that Stuttering John had a set of balls on him. Like, he's asked some of the biggest celebrities the most awkward questions for God knows how many years, and became famous for it. And his talent got him to where he is today, where he's doing his podcast. But he generates. I try to go the opposite way. I don't like controversy. I don't like being stirred up or anything like that. So he likes to stir the pot. I don't, but he gets people angry and very angry, including he's had a very hard, awkward war with Anthony Cumia for a very, very long time. And I don't have a problem with Anthony or anybody. It's basically we're I like to be friends with everybody unless you're a true scumbag, and then that's another story. But I try to go the path where everybody's good, and we you know what? I got an idea. I'm gonna turn this way so people live on Instagram. I'll turn it when Gino gets on. I'll turn it back. So there's everybody. CGM, the Ghosters joined. And we're just waiting here for Geno Visconti to come on, and he's promoting it right now. He's trying to get some people to jump on, and we're let me see. I'm going to post a comment down here. I know it's a little boring right now, but it's going to get good. Post. So I'll make sure that people are watching or can come on. There we go. Post. And so we'll just talk. And I'm in my new apartment. Maybe we could do that. It's pretty gigantic. We'll go this way. I got hey, Gino. Gino will be on in 5. So I got a fireplace. Look at this. And it's a pretty big living room. And it's 2 bedrooms and 2 baths. It's a nice kitchen back there. And if we go outside, there's the pool. Oh, look at that. So, yay. And we're sorry about that, YouTube. So we're getting ready to get Geno Visconti. There's a lot of controversy about this. It was in page 6 and everything. So we're going to hopefully get some people here. I love Geno anyway. Geno's been always good to me. He doesn't have any reason to be any as good as he is to me. He does no. I think he's a genuinely good guy. And so if you can go to my YouTube channel, I think I changed it when the book came out, so it might have been the Gorilla Parts or AftershockXL. I got to fix that. I didn't realize that until the other day when somebody was looking for me. But when my book Gorilla Parts is still available on Amazon and Audible, you can still get that. The Audible's fun. If you can listen to my annoying voice for 4.5 hours, I suggest you get it. So the channel is believed Aftershock or Gorilla Parts. But if you want to watch it without having to watch this, please tune in to YouTube. You could jump over there and you can get it, or you could stay on here and you could watch it from my phone off my computer. So I'm not at the studio, so I don't have. Obviously, Geno has a limited time, and we're going to. I figured I'd try out the apartment, see how it worked, and I got my plants, and I got over here when you're watching, and I set up my distorted Christmas tree. That's what got me through Christmas. I don't know. I think it should be something in the background. Just me. Maybe I'm crazy. I don't know. So if you're getting ready, Geno was there. Geno did his set. Geno has a whole take on what happened. I appreciate him coming on. Ill Lit Rit joined. The only thing that I can't see on YouTube is when people or who's on. I know they post up on here, but I don't know who's generating and who's watching at the same time. So anyway, so I had a long weekend, big move, all by myself. Sakura, everybody, if you want to go jump on the YouTube channel, it's Grillos AftershockXL or Gorilla Parts. You can watch it a little better instead of on my phone. And we're just hopefully getting more people generated. I know the more you're on, the more YouTube sends out more people. Request to be in your live video. I'm gonna, no offense, I'm gonna, Sal, I guess I'm gonna try to just keep it between me and Geno so it doesn't get too confusing. I don't know, and no offense, I don't know exactly who you are. If I do, I apologize. But the more confusing it gets, I just don't, and then there's so many haters out there. There's all those Dabbleverse people. Congratulations, you made it to page 6. Oh, I gotta have that shown right there. Look, my buddy John Holstrom from Punk Magazine. That's his artwork, and he had a party promoting something in New York, and they had free tattoo artists. And I always loved this little skull that John did. You see, and I was like, hey, free tattoo. And one of John's, John Holstrom was the creator of Punk Magazine. He basically coined the term punk. He lived down the block from CBGB's and was one of those artists and kids that hung out there all day long. If you watch the CBGB movie, it's basically his story wrapped around the CBGB story. Unfortunately, the director was a savage asshole. So that guy's in jail now. But the movie was really good. Alan Rickman played Hilly Crystal, who was a Hansi, always there. These people with the spam calls every day with the spam calls, 5, 6, 7. I think I got 7 spam calls. Anybody else get the spam calls like this? I don't know. So, it's at Grillos AftershockXL. I got to get that shit straight. I thought it was okay, but then I did realize that, remember a year ago when I wasn't doing all this social media shit that I'm back involved in, which is great. I got to reteach myself, relearn it, because I really didn't. Dennis Coolhill, the legend, Dennis Coolhill, right there. Dennis Coolhill is a legend. I grew up with him and his family up at the campground. Your YouTube is at Grillos AftershockXL. That's what I thought. But we changed something a year ago. I realized I forgot about it. So I have to go back and make sure it's AfterShock. So although it's not a bad thing to promote my book. Oh, here we go. Okay, so Geno, looks like Geno's getting ready. I'm going to put the camera down on the computer so you guys can watch. Down is up is down. I still can't get that right. So, all right. No further ado.
Oh, dude, I'm fucking done. Dude, you look good, man. Congrats on the move.
Yeah, what's that?
I said, how do I sound? Can you hear me okay?
Oh, crystal clear, buddy.
Good. I said, you look great. Congrats on the move.
Oh, thank you, man. I've never had anything this big in my life. I just came from the smallest apartment in Manhattan where it was like my bed was next to my stove kind of thing, I was lucky enough to get that. And the first apartment I had was basically like an Airbnb out here. I knew I was only there for a couple months, and now I'm paying the same amount that I was for a 2-bedroom, 2-bath, 2-car garage. The pool's outside the door right here, hot tub, gym, community area, barbecue. It's got a security guard, and it's basically 15 minutes from where I used to live. And
that's great. Is it just outside of Vegas?
It's in Vegas. It's Spring Valley.
So, oh yeah, no, that's kind of what I meant. That's amazing, man. Good for you. Yeah,
it's pretty fun. I literally moved in myself over the weekend, like just back and forth. Yeah, I could adjust it a little too. So
dude, look, like I'm dying, dude. Since Friday was so much fun. I drank a lot for me, dude. I drank a lot for us, Grillo. That's a lot. And then Saturday I tried to drink some more, and it just put me over. I was so sick all day Sunday. I definitely have a flu or something, and I'm down in Austin. I'm doing podcasts, a couple of shows, but I came down for my brother-in-law's wedding, so I'm just fucking dragging all day today. And like I was gonna stream, but I'm like, when you reach out, I'm like, this is a good time to give some content to people, you know, and you got the place. So this is the best I can do. And I love that you fucking had me on.
I'll take it all day long, buddy. For those, Geno has been my comedy coach on a couple of occasions. I had to do a roast in Geno, and I just met you, and this is what a great guy you are. You took time out to sit down with me and taught me how to do a roast. That was with Stuttering John and Jackie and KC. And that's when we sort of became friends. You were really, really patient with me because I never did anything like that before.
But that almost leads to the Stuttering John thing. You never took yourself seriously. You knew what you didn't know. And it wasn't that you didn't know it. I remember telling him, like, you're a ball buster. You just have to realize you're a ball buster. Get in there and just speak and bust balls. And you wrote itself. And I still remember that. And that's always been, that's the Dabbleverse. And I cannot believe it's so funny to me. Like there's a running gag or whatever you want to call it where I would say Geno was right. And they're like, yeah, you think you're always right? And I'm like, oh no, I admit when I'm wrong, but I'm right about the important shit. And I'll let me even backtrack. I'm right about the stuff that's common sense, and that's what's important because you can only trust yourself. But when I'm wrong about something like the Dabbleverse is bullshit, it's not real, which I've stopped saying. I'm like, and I'm not in it. I know I'm in it. I don't want to be. Now I don't even care. But the fact that Dabbleverse was written in the New York Post, the letters DABBLEVERSE. Are you fucking kidding me? God bless you, Dabbleverse. And I was, and somebody said to me, aren't you mad? Like they mentioned Anthony Cumia, who I love, Stuttering John, who fucking I always give people chances, and to quote Maya Angelou, and trust me, I didn't read her book, but Colin Cowherd always quotes her. When someone shows you who they are, believe them. And we saw that at Dabbleverse. And I can go over the entire cast of characters from the Dabbleverse and just explain how Geno was right. But I'll preface it by saying Geno's wrong. Dabbleverse is a real entity, and it draws in people that aren't like you and me, that fucking are failures. They know it, and they're all. My brother always uses the phrase, they're all ones parading as tens or something. I never get it right because the way I look at it is everyone in the Dabbleverse is a two. And they think if they can beat you up and if they can knock you down in the eyes of all the fucking sad people in there that need, actually that's not even fair to me to say to them because a lot of them are just have normal lives and they love the distractions like the Real Housewives of YouTube. But the players in the Dabbleverse, if we can convince everyone else that everyone's a one, then I'm the funniest man alive. And that is that, like, you know who leads the pack with that? Chad Zumock leads the pack with that. He really does. Like he says stuff where you're like, is he 5? He's 5, right? This guy's got to be 5 the way he talks. But getting back to, and then I'll hand it back to you. But that's why it was so fun, and we always hit it off because we don't take each other seriously. We like to bust balls. When we do well, we do well. When we don't, we fucking laugh at ourselves. That is not the Dabbleverse. That is not Stuttering John. That is not fucking Chad. That is not these people. You know, but I will say it. God bless you, Dabbleverse. You are compelling fucking content. You are.
Well, it's the stir shit sort of theory. You know, if you get enough people angry, you get the crowd going and angry. That's sort of the way to go. I don't like doing that.
Yeah.
So first of all, I need to ask: Is Stuttering John gonna be mad at me that I have you on right now?
What?
Well, we'll get back to that because you couldn't have been.
Oh yeah, tease that out. That's called a teaser in the biz, Grillo.
We'll try that again. We'll do a second take. Hey Geno, is Stuttering John gonna be mad at me? Wait.
We'll get to that in a minute. Wait.
Hey Geno, is Stuttering John gonna be mad at me that I have you on?
Well, do you say it now? Like, is he mad at you? Where do you stand with Stuttering John right now? Because I don't even know.
I actually had a conversation with him. I think it was on Friday. And
good.
I was like, dude, what? I think it was Thursday. And I was like, he said, I was like, dude, I feel bad that these people are just going to, attack you and ruin your show when you're just trying to make a goddamn living. And he was like, he goes, I know. He said, but he said that he had some really good jokes about Anthony, and I was like, good. I was like, in my head, I'm like, stick to comedy, shove it up their ass, and do a good set, so they can't say a fucking thing. And I thought that was going to happen. So so everybody that might just tuned in, Stuttering John did a set in New York City on Friday at Rodney's, which is a comedy club, the old Rodney Dangerfield's, and the Dabbleverse, which is just basically anti-Stuttering John all day long, decided to fill the place. And Anthony Cumia, who John's been in a war with for like 10 years, I guess, just decided to show. They say some awful, awful things about each other. And Anthony decided to come. Now, you being on the set list, that sounds to me that you and John were probably getting along. I would imagine, not that John had any say in it, but you being there must have been okay with you and John? Things were okay?
I'm still okay with John. I don't know if he's okay with me, but I'm just being honest, like I've always been with John. And me and John had a lot of beef in the past, okay? When John, when I was like, on Artie's podcast and the Second Mic and all that stuff and touring with Artie, and John was like still on Stern and then went to the Tonight Show, I felt John was full of himself. He didn't have a grip on reality. He didn't realize how much had been handed to him. That's how I felt, okay? But I will be the first to admit that in the past couple months, John had my wife on his, I don't know how good the sound is, but I just farted. John just started having my wife, Keanu, on. And look, I don't care who's fighting with who. Like, I'm loyal to my friends. John knows I'm loyal to Anthony Cumia. I consider him a very good friend, and I know John and Anthony don't get along, but if you're having my wife on, I'm fine. And whenever John, I'd be like talking to John or Anthony would come up as recently as Super Bowl Sunday when we were doing a stream together and bullshitting. Like, we were talking football. And when Anthony came up, I'm like, I owe the best 8 years of my life to him. I love the guy, and that leads to what went on this Friday. But then John put Keanu on a show at the Stress Factory in New Brunswick 2 months ago. And I drove her, and I got there and they're like, hey, you want to do a spot? Because John didn't book it, which, wow, now that I say that out loud leads to what went on Friday. And I'll tell you where my real beef is, because it's with a John, but not John stuttering, not the John that stutters. So back to the Stress Factory, we do the show. I'll never forget, it was a Thursday night gig when the Chargers beat the Vikings on Thursday Night Football, fucking mauled them. It was great. And everything and when I showed up, they're like, oh, we don't have a feature, so I feature. And a lot of the Dabbleverse is there, and like they're this is the Dabbleverse. The players, the fans, they're nice to you to your face, and then they go online and say shitty things. And that is just not how people like me and you exist, Grillo. Because we were raised right, because we're stupid loyal, because we're dumb. And if someone says something nice to us, you know what we do? We believe them. And then 12 hours later, they go back like, Geno sucked. Keanu is awful. And it's like, why are you doing that? And I will say this, John doesn't lie about other people. He just lies to himself. And okay. I don't care. Like, am I wrong? Like, John, all he had to do was get on stage and do his act. And let me tell you, I did my act and I knew it was could be hostile, but I know my act, to quote Artie Lang, doesn't fold. And I wanted to do some of my newer stuff, but I didn't get to it because the crowd was so insane. I just kept hammering them with the greatest hits you've seen going in and out. Doesn't matter. I'll get back to that. But you have to it's your job, no matter what. And I don't have time for people like, oh, well, it was filled with my enemies. Anthony went on stage before and brought John up, which was so fucking stupid. And I'll tease it out some more, which gets back to why the guy that booked it, a different guy, John McCarthy, fucking is an idiot. And he fucking is a shyster. And it was doing a money grab John may not even have been in on. And in my opinion, we'll get to that. But circling back, so we do the show at fucking the Stress Factory. Everything goes great. And then suddenly John's like, I'm in town for a show in, at Rodney's. And I'm like, I do a show at Rodney's. I like the owner. And I'm doing my show at Rodney's. If you're ever in town, last Sunday of the month, Geno and friends, I host it. We all have drinks and tell some jokes. It's great. I make a little bit of money. The bar makes a ton because of who we are, and Mark, the owner, loves that. So I bump into this Johnny McCarthy guy, and he's like, hey, John's doing a show here. Whatever it was, February 27th. And I go, yeah, I know. My wife's on the show. He's like, well, you want to be on it too? And I'm like, sure, I'm here either way. So now I'm assuming that the show is like the show that we did at the Stress Factory, which John McCarthy had nothing to do with, which was a show hosted by KP Burke, who crushed. I went up and did a guest spot. Keanu featured, John closed. Everybody did great because it was a comedy show. Okay, so fast forward to John saying that John McCarthy. I'm just going to call him JM. If I don't say stuttering John, it's Johnny McCarthy.
Yeah,
okay,
okay.
So Johnny the Booker, whatever, says I'll put you on. I'm like, okay. So it gets closer to this show, right? And when it gets closer, Anthony and I'm fine with John, all this stuff. When it gets close and we're promoting it, and whatever, we're promoting it, but there's like 16, 20 tickets sold. But then Anthony, who's amazing and fucking is in the industry and knows radio, he loves playing around in the Dabbleverse. I don't know if he thinks he's in it or not. He's obviously in it, but he's in it like, like a guy, like a human being kicks an anthill. He's like, this is fun. I'll fuck around with these guys. And he has every right to. He's got a Sunday show on WABC.
These guys are dangerous, man. They could really fuck with your life. And I don't understand how they are okay with that. I'm looking at some of the comments, and some of these people are just mean, dude.
Well, that's just it. Like they lie. Go on. But they lie. And the truth always prevails in reality, I feel. But go on, Grillo.
Well, I just want to say before it even gets out of control, like I talk to John all the time. I consider him a very close friend, kind of like family, the older brother that always, has to make sure he's the older brother and in control. But, as of the past couple of years, John has been nothing but like nice to me. Went to a Yankee game with him and his mom and stuff. And, but I did have some issues with him in the past, and it's always, something, but there's always something going on with everybody always has that friend that has everybody. I'm not talking to them, like I have a friend that I'm not talking to now because he's not talking to this person. He's not talking to that person.
Sure.
I hate that. And I had to stop talking to him because it was just like, it's difficult. And I'm not saying John's like that, but to fill a room with people that hate you, that's fucking awful. Like, was there one person there that liked him?
Yes. And I'll tell you this, and you can say, you can believe it. The whole crowd was willing to like him. And I know that sounds ridiculous, but the whole crowd was willing to like him.
Like, okay. When I watched it, I was like, you're just playing to these assholes. I was like, why wouldn't you go there and try to have them kill them and make them laugh and shove it straight up their ass? I don't know what happened and what his mindset was to have the game change, to change the plan in his head just to go up there and read Anthony's police report. There's nothing funny about that.
Because he didn't have he's not this. See, this is what gets him mad. I'm a fucking comedian. I moved up to New York. I got on stage every night when I first started. I traveled. I worked with fucking Artie. I wrote for fucking things. I did. That's how I got it. John was on fucking Howard Stern and then started doing stand-up because people wanted to see him. So he never learned the fucking nuts and bolts and fucking worked his chops, for lack of a better word, which escapes me, to write the comedy. So he started to realize, like, well, these guys are going to be fucking, do your act, John. Do your act. Fucking, as Artie Lang once said to me, you have an act that doesn't fold. Gene, we have to be funny. We're straight white guys over 40. That's how long ago this was. Okay. But when John says, well, when John says something he's not equipped to do and say, I'm going to outsmart these people. I'm sorry, but, and I'm going to read the man who just brought me up, which should never have happened. And that gets back to John the Booker, who insisted on hosting, and I'll get to that. Should never have fucking happened. Okay. But Anthony brings him up and says, I don't remember what he said other than fucking pay attention. Let's enjoy him. Fucking one of the first things Anthony yelled, let him talk. Let him talk. That crowd was willing to fucking laugh at him. But you know what? And obviously what had to laugh, they're like, we want to hear the squeegee joke. We want to hear the Sims, all this stuff, But John didn't want to confront the fact that he has like the same act, I think, and fucking didn't want to do it. So he's like, he did 11 minutes and bailed fucking in any comedy club. And then the Dabbler's like, well, they don't know how to run a comedy club. Every comedy club that I work, New York Comedy Club, okay? I'm pretty sure the Cellar did it. They did it when I was working it ages ago. It's like, no one leaves without their ticket. That's how fucking crowded comedy clubs do. And everyone's like, oh, they have no system. Fucking, yes, they do. You fucking Jew kikes walking out on tabs. Yes, they do.
They should have done it like the Little Rascals, pay as you exit.
Yeah. And there was a bouncer there. He's like, he was just brought in. You know, there's one security guy who was brought in. He didn't expect that. But getting all the way back to what I said, this all goes back to fucking John the Booker, who 2 days before I'm talking to Keanu. And she's and if someone tells you that's the show, you know, it's you're on Stuttering John show with Keanu. Don't you assume it's going to be like it was at the Stress Factory? Don't you assume it's going to be a host, a guest spot, Keanu and John? Don't you? Well, whether you do or don't, I did. And 2 days before, I'm like, so what am I just? Keanu's like, there's like 6 or 7 people on the show, and I said, what? She's like, yeah, it's got a Rodney impersonator. Jimmy Palumbo's coming out. We love Jimmy Palumbo. And I'm like, oh, okay. And then I'm like, how much time? And Keanu's like, well, we're all doing 10 minutes and John's doing like 20. And I said, what? And I said to Keanu, I'm like, and again, not my business, because I think I'm just a 10-minute spot on a fucking weekend show. And I say, what? And she goes, yeah. I'm like, do you realize what they're trying to do? And no, I didn't say it then. I said, if John does less than a half an hour, they're going to hang him. And I said, do you understand this Johnny McCarthy guy is just trying to put as many people on so John doesn't have to do that much time? I said, that's a mistake. So the fast forward to the day of when all of this sinks in. And you know what I say to Keanu? I'm like, you know what I should do? I said, I should host the show. And again, it's not my show. It's not my place. You're
talking about the Dangerfield show?
Yes.
Okay. So I'd like to go and find out really more about what was going on with the room at some point, because like the events that unfolded, like the backstage, you saw what was going on. Did you talk to John before he went on?
No, I didn't talk to. I did. I did my spot. Then I went down and talked to John. But this is what led to.
Did you have a nice conversation?
Yeah, I have no problem with John now. I'm just calling a spade a spade. Okay, I have no problem with Stuttering John now. We probably may not like me because I said I was a better comedian than him. And if you don't think I am, I don't care. I didn't say I'm a bigger radio personality. I didn't say I'm a bigger draw. All I said was I'm a better comedian than him. That's it. End of discussion.
So, you know. So you shook his hand. Was he nervous, or was he pacing back and forth, or was he just like?
No, he was sitting down. He introduced me to his bodyguard or whatever. Nice guy. And I'm like, just have fun, John. It's a good crowd. Y'all have fun. It'll be great.
And when did it turn? What he did. So he already had the plan just to go up there and read the police report. Was that the deal?
Well, that's what he alleges. But it turned. And this is what I was getting to, and this will lead right into it. It's perfect. Thank you for talking, Little, because I know I talk too much. But it turned.
Griswold, I was commenting like crazy.
What's he saying?
Oh, he's saying, Grillo, it's your show. Why don't you speak? I was like, because you know what? I'll tell you why, Clark. Geno took time out of his day to come on your show and talk about what's going on. So if he has,
but see, Clark Griswold is a fucking Clark Griswold is a typical. Wait, hold on. Fuck, I knocked my thing over. Comment, hold on. See, this is why I shouldn't have touched it. Sorry, hold on. Can you see me?
I can see you.
Yeah, see, I can see the comments. E-Rock, do you think you suffered any permanent brain damage being around Geno? Oh my God, so funny. Grillo is better than JJ. Yeah, see, this is why I can't be bothered with the comments. Sorry. So as I was saying,
yeah, it's distracting, but I'm glad people are out there. Thank you for tuning in, everybody.
Oh no, I love the comments. When I stream, I always read them too much. That's why I'm glad I didn't even.
Yeah, I know. I wanted to really find out what happened before, during, and after the show, and you know,
this is what annoys me.
You know, it's like I wasn't there. I wish I was there, and I just saw.
A lot of people do
behind the scenes that no one else knows about.
Well, if I can add one more thing, and this is what pissed me off. I called, just so you can understand the guy, what the problem was from the get-go. So I reach out to that guy, Johnny McCarthy, that day after I say to Keanu, I should host this. And you understand why. I've hosted forever, okay? And I can control the train wreck. And if I'm there, I can fucking not only bring up Stuttering John without bringing Anthony on stage, If Stuttering John bails at 11 minutes, I can go back up as the host and control the show while people get their tabs. Do you understand? And the show's fine. You understand? Although maybe it's better because then I'd be fucking linked to this even more rather than just doing a spot. But the guy, Johnny McCarthy, the day of the show, he's like, nah, I really want to host. Anyone there, even Clark Griswold, he probably wasn't there, just likes to comment, will tell you he didn't do anything. He added people to the set. Jimmy Palumbo went up. And I also said, let me go right before John. Nah, I like this order. He just kept bringing people up, giving them guest spots so he could take the entire door and pay as little as possible. That's what I realized he was doing. And look, I didn't ask for a certain amount when I was doing it because I was under the impression Keanu was getting feature pay and I was the guest spot. But I just showed up, and as the train wreck unfolded, because Johnny McCarthy has no talent, none. He has zero talent as a comic, zero talent as a host. To put it succinctly, well, one time he used to go up with a bag on his head and pretend to be the other unknown comic. That said, now do you understand what you're about to hear, how out of control the show was? Because it was a full house.
I did forget one thing. Vic Legina said hello.
Oh, I love Vic Legina. I got to get him on my show. The porn guy, right?
He saw that I did a little live thing saying that I was coming on with you, and Vic called me up. He was the first person when I came to Vegas. I met Brian McCarthy. You know, I'm sure you know Brian.
Brian was there.
Oh,
he looked good. He's taking some kind of GLP.
Oh yeah, I love Brian McCarthy. He's out of his
mind. He's great.
So Brian McCarthy said, you got to, talk to my friend Vic. And Vic came and picked me up at the hotel in a convertible black Corvette. And I was like, holy crap. And he's this big toe. I didn't know much about who he was, but I thought his name was fantastic. And he brought me around, and we went to In-N-Out Burger. You're frozen there, Geno. I don't know what happened. Can you hear me? We might have lost him for a second. So anyway, Vic Legina was a porn director and producer. He's a really nice guy. So I don't know what happened here. All right, we're gonna come and we're gonna add you to the stage and move you to the stage.
Totally. Not even my fault. I knew what I was doing. I had 80 windows open, and it was fucking up a little on my end, so I just cleared everything and came back on. Yeah, but anyway, go on, Vic Legina. I apologize, buddy.
So, all right. So now let's get to the nitty gritty, the stuff that no one saw that was going on because you were backstage and shit like that. So John goes on. Somebody ripped the paper out of his hand. I'm surprised he didn't make a move on him because I do know that John has a set of balls and he's not someone that I wouldn't want to roll around on the floor with. You know what I'm saying?
John was looking for any excuse to get off stage at that point. The guy that did it was harmless. He just he was trying too hard to be part of the Dabbleverse. His name's Tommy Jordan. I really like him. He's a good kid. Although he's not a kid, he's a lot older than he looks. I hope that comes out as a compliment.
I do got to throw John a compliment. He actually looked good. He looked like he slimmed down.
I agree. I think John looked really good. He got a nice haircut. Yeah, I agree.
I always think he should grow his hair long again because he had some pretty fucking cool rock star hair at one point. But no, it looked like he was in shape. He does, every time I see him, he's one of those guys that every time he goes to the gym, he's got to let you know he goes to the gym.
I think they were busting his balls, but I don't think it's a bad bust. They're like, how's he that chubby? Like, he must just work his arms. John has really good arms. Call me gay, but he does.
So, all right. So he goes on, and then what happens directly after he comes off stage?
Well, you have to understand what went on before he went on, Grillo.
Okay, then let's go. Let's go there.
Actually, okay, so Johnny McCarthy, the host, goes up. Full house. You know what I mean? People are all over. There's shit going on in the lobby. We'll get to that. He brings up the first comic, a Rodney Dangerfield impersonator, who the only thing that makes him look like Rodney is he's old and he's wearing a red tie.
Oh, okay. I know that guy.
But he does Rodney's act. He doesn't sound that much like him, but he sounds enough like him that he does Rodney's act and fucking does great. And that's a good start. Like, you're just doing standard older comedy for an older crowd, and it went, and they loved it. They loved it. You can ask anyone. Okay. Then they bring up Sheba Mason who's there as a guest spot, and I love Sheba. And she does like 15, 20 minutes. Not that much. She does 10, 15, whatever. And she does okay. And don't get me wrong, Sheba's funny, but the crowd's starting to like whatever. And then they bring me up. And I'm sorry, you could ask around. Anyone that's being honest knows I had the best set there. and I should have, because my set fucks with the crowd who was half talking to each other, and not in a bad way because it was more of a social event. But you could see they're getting more and more. Then Tiana goes up and she does fine for the people still listening, but people are filming it in the back like Carl and editing it to look like she's not funny. I don't understand why people do that. Oh yeah, I do, because they're all sad, insecure twos trying to tell you everyone else is a one for super chats and making all the ones with money give you more money. And then Jimmy Palumbo goes up, but as Jimmy Palumbo goes up, and this will tie into some of the shit you want, the police come in and walk Anthony Cumia out. Okay.
Whoa.
Now they walk Anthony Cumia out. I might be getting the timeline wrong. I mean, the order of comics is, but Jimmy literally goes up a minute. It's like, I'm not doing this. And I don't blame Jimmy Palumbo, because imagine you know nothing about the Dabbleverse goings on and you walk up to that. And you're like, what? No. And Jimmy said, I'm leaving. And he got off stage. Another guy, Johnny doesn't have to pay. So right now, Johnny has a door worth about 25 hundo in his mind. And he's giving me and Keanu $50 in his mind and not paying anyone else.
Hey.
Okay. This is all in hindsight. This is how it played out. Okay. So then Palumbo comes off. Johnny goes up there. Nothing to say. He goes, why don't we have Anthony Cumia come on stage? What? And don't get me wrong, I'm one of Anthony's biggest fans. And Anthony went on stage and fucking gave John an infinitely better intro than Johnny McCarthy could have given him. Infinitely better.
Well,
okay.
Take a real quick story that I'm sure you
please
to making fun. So I'm promoting my book, and Anthony's been on ABC Radio for probably about 2 or 3 weeks, and he's doing it remotely. So I go down to the ABC studios. And I'm all excited and stuff. And that Anthony had me on. He's always been so great to me. And no one really reminded me. I must have done like 18 podcasts where you could say whatever the fuck you want. And then you have to remind me that it's terrestrial radio. So the first 3 seconds, so I go, he goes, hey, and everybody, Steve Grillo. I go, hey, what's going on, motherfucker? And he goes, Grillo, this is fucking regular radio. I go, oh shit, I'm so fucking sorry. So the first 5 seconds of me being but anyway, Anthony's been very good. If you listen to this, thank you so much for having my back, buddy.
Yeah, and Anthony, me and Anthony. So to finish it up, so then he brings up Anthony, which is such a dumb fucking thing to do unless you're a terrible host who just wants fucking money. And you're like, oh, this will be cute. But Anthony, I'll say it again, infinitely better intro, and says, I'm here to hear the squeegee bit. Everyone listened to John. Everyone would have listened to John. But John fucking, can't face the fact that he's like, they came there to hear his greatest hits. And he wants to be like, nah, I'm not going to give them that. Why? Can you tell me why? Because if he, and he just held the paper up, he couldn't make eye contact. He couldn't face him. It was the worst. And he did 11 minutes and got off. And he's like, and he had the, here's a little spy report. And I may be good friends with the owner, Mark, who sent me more money yesterday. He told me 1, how much he paid them, and 2, and he's like, here, this is a fair percentage. So if you don't understand, I got about friggin' a good 15-20% of what they were getting. Okay, which I fucking deserved. Yeah. And I don't care if I'm speaking out of school. And he said, and in a letter from John, what's that go?
You know what John got?
I can imagine. No, because I think the booker took a lot of it.
What is an essay a featured comedian get these days for doing a set? Like if you went down and did the Comedy Cellar, or
if you're saying for a weekend spot pay, I'm pretty sure weekend spot pay. Last I was like doing it on the reg at real clubs, and not that Dangerfields isn't a real club, but I only do produce shows there for the most part. It's like I think weekend pay is like 50 to 100. I'm sure at the better clubs it's like closer to 100. Spot pay. The hosts get more than that.
Oh wow, I don't know because I'm friends with Sherrod Small, and he'd be bouncing around from club to club doing back and forth the Cellar, and then the Comedy Strip, and then sure. I never asked, but I was just always curious, so it's like $100 a pop, kind of. If you're a feature, if you're like Sherrod Small.
Well, not a feature because it's like you're doing spots on the weekend, like it's a show like that, which is why when I was given that shit money. And he didn't look at me like $50, and me and the wife, I'm like, I'm not even. I'm like, it's spot pay, and I never asked for an amount. I assumed a lot of stuff, and like I said at the beginning, we trust people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But again, this is the thing that got me. fucking and I don't know the relationship between Stuttering John and John who booked it, but he sent a letter, you know, a cope letter, as the kids would call it. Be like, it's like there was no security there. The host, he goes, and the host brought up Anthony to bring me up, like, and he said terrible things about Anthony. It's like, and I wanted to reach through the fucking phone and be like, you write back to him right now, your host, your fucking host that insisted on hosting because you didn't fucking let the fucking people that are good at what they do what they do, and then you wound up there. But it's a cope to try and be like, oh, it's not my fault. It is your fault. It is always your fault. As a comedian, you get on stage. I don't care if fucking 3 people in the front row just had their daughter murdered. You have to get that crowd laughing. And if you can't, you have to address it and work around. And if your workaround is I'm going to hold a paper up and say, this guy's a terrible person, you fucked up. And as a comedian, it fucking offends me. It offends me that all these unfunny motherfuckers in the Dabbleverse that never were comedians or Chad is the fucking worst. Like I have to let it go because everything he does, like he not only lies, like he lies. I say this all the time, like you're as stupid as he is. Okay. And he's the one that's always dropping names. Oh, I know comedy. He says things you would say in a fucking 80s movie if you were trying to impress someone, but it was a comedy. Yeah. I tell jokes all the time. I'm a big star. I know everybody. It's like, Chad, go away. You're a Florida fucking opener.
Keep going. I just got to get the plug.
I thought you were saying, okay, take your time.
Yeah, keep going.
I don't know where Grillo went. It's a goddamn pleasure. But again, I am battling I'm still hungover from that. But yeah, if you don't get it this is the code. And I'm sorry that I'm really good at what I do. And everyone in the Dabbleverse just wants to shit on that. I'm sorry that I like being a New York comedian. I'm sorry that fucking everyone thinks like, well, let's just talk about all the comedians who got rich and famous and fucking deserve it. And all the people that are just like, well, let me tell you this about Kevin Brennan. I like him, but I can't do it anymore. I'm over that he fucking quit. He quit. I get that Kevin Brennan wants to ride off into the sunset and monetize shitting on other people. But the last joke he had, Bed Bath & Beyond, says nothing. His joke says nothing. And every fucking time I've gotten on stage, I've evolved further and further to make sure the crowd leaves with something they can take with them. They're like, oh, he's still talking about COVID. Nope. I do a joke with COVID in the punchline. But no, it's about the world we live in now. And now I try and get people to fucking be able to laugh at themselves and the country we live in. But you get shit comics like Carl's like, look at how bad this is. Carl, I tried to be nice to. I was nice to Carl again. And he's like, yeah, I've had it with people that in real life will smile at you. And then like, but I can make money fucking lying about them online. And I feel bad for them. I'm not even I forgive all of these people because they're sad, pathetic motherfuckers who fucking don't know how to exist in reality. So they find a little cult like the Dabbleverse and be like, I'll be a big player in this. Congratulations. So congratulations.
Would you say Kevin Brennan quit? He's out of show business altogether?
He quit on comedy. I don't blame him because his brother got fucking way more famous and is so unfunny.
Who's his brother?
Neil Brennan.
I don't know. I did Kevin's show once, and he's a pretty scary dude.
Define scary.
Define scary. Like he was nice to me, but I could see like if you were on that guy's crosshairs, there'd be a fucking problem. You know, like if like he's.
I'll tell you this: the bouncers apparently had to pull me away from it because,
really?
Because apparently I would have been stupid enough to drop that frail old man, and I've never raised a fist in anger in my life at someone other than my brother growing up. But that's brother's fight.
I hit a guy with a bottle of vodka.
Oh, I fucking think Anthony hit me with 3 bottles of Jameson that night. I'll tell you that one.
Where'd you guys go afterwards?
We went to our favorite hang. Oh my God, it's gonna get wonky because my wife just texted me. I should text her the link to this. Can you see me doing this?
Yeah, I can see you. Yeah, go ahead.
All right, let me see if I can text her the link. Yeah, we went to the.
I would die. So anyway, I apologize for the echo. I'm in my new apartment, and I don't have my microphone. I don't have the studio, but if I was, Geno gave me a little window of opportunity, and I grabbed it. So I know it's going to be a little echoey, but
I think you sound okay.
Yeah, but I have a feeling that when I go back to edit this and stuff like that.
Sorry, guys. Let me think. This is my setup, by the way. It's great. My setup is my phone balanced diagonally on this. And by the way, I got to get outside. I want to get outside, but I'm that's where I left off. I'm still fucking dying from my fucking dinner with Anthony, as they say.
Yeah.
Hold on.
Is that like dinner with Andre?
Yes.
Well, I mean, some shots. I'll probably show you fall right back in.
Oh yeah, dude. We went to this bar on 76 called Iggy's karaoke bar where we used to always hang.
I was friends with Iggy, man.
Yeah. What?
He was a really nice guy. Yeah, I'm glad.
Well, that's where we went.
He was really close with a lot of people that I'm close with, and that's how we became friends. But that was a shocker, man. That freaked everybody out when he passed away.
Yeah, and did whatchamacallit get back to me? I'll let you know. Oh yeah, so we went there, and me and Anthony were hanging out, and this is the other thing that, and this is something I don't have to say to you, but it's what that. Like, if you want to know something about me, just ask. You know what I mean? Like, I don't lie. I don't have time to lie. You know what I mean? I don't lie to people. I don't lie to myself. So after we did the show, and Anthony, like, you know, when they asked Anthony to get on stage, he had no trouble doing it. And here's me speaking freely again. We used to do a thing called Comedians of the Compound. I almost said Campground. In Hot Water fans, Compound Media fans will get that joke. And it was great. We did it in Vegas. We did it here in Austin. We did it in a lot of places. By the way, if you like me, I'll be on the Drinking Brothers podcast Thursday and Friday, Creek and Cave Thursday night. What was I going to say? So, if you want to, so we were doing Comedians of the Compound. We did it all over, right? So Anthony loved getting on stage, and he was great at that. And Anthony still gets on stage, but he does it with Gavin McGinnis, who's not funny, just is provocative. But when Anthony did the show with us, me, Aaron Berg, Pat Dixon, all these great, Chrissy Mayer, Larry Baya, Kiana would do it sometimes, like later on when we started dating. It was just a great turnout, great crowd. And, you know, we didn't kid ourselves. We knew the biggest straw of any of us was Anthony, but the group made it so worth it. You know what I mean? So we did one. I'm so dumb. We did a reunion in the Poconos in the Catskills a couple of months ago, and it was great. So I'm sitting there watching this packed house, and knowing it was packed because of one person, not me, not Stuttering John, Anthony Cunha, who we talked about. I don't know if I probably glazed over this because I talked too much and I'm all fucking willy-nilly scatterbrain, but he was the one that when it got close said, well, I'm in town for a show. I'm going to go. And everyone wanted to go and hang out with Anthony, see the dynamics, see what would go on with John. And it was an event. But while I'm hanging out at the bar with Anthony, he walks right up to me. He's like, we got to do a shot. We do a shot at Rodney's. I always say Dangerfields. And I'm like, it dawns on me then, before I knew what I was getting paid for any of that, I'm like, why don't we do this here? I said, Anthony, let's talk about doing this later. Like, that is how my mind works. And a lot of people were starting the rumor, well, Gene, I don't know how they thought this, like, Geno, this was his plan all the time to somehow, like, I don't even, like, I can't even remember what my devious plan was, what the fans are saying. But I emailed a guy, Rocco, during his thing and said, I wish I'd known that. But I did reach out to Anthony at Iggy's. And I said, next time, sometime you're in town on a Sunday, if you want to do a Comedians of the Compound, get on stage, do as much time as you want. You know, we'll make some money at the door. It's found money. You love getting on stage. He's like, yeah, pal, it would work. So that's it. That's me talking to Anthony. And then someone, I won't say who, but they know who they are, fucking super chat. Someone sent me the screenshot of it. Super chat that I fucking am desperate to say in Anthony's good graces. I don't fucking have to. Here, put me on the screen real big. Put me on the screen real big. Just take yourself out for a second.
Okay, all right.
I don't have to stay in anyone's good fucking graces. If you fucking know me, I always speak my fucking mind. So anyone, I don't care how close they are to Anthony, literally or figuratively, don't ever fucking tell me my fucking business again, because you're fucking disingenuous and you got your own fucking insecure fucking problems. Because I'm very good friends with Anthony and I like doing stand-up with him and drinking with him. And if we make a little money, end of story. But if you think I need him, then you can just fucking get a fucking reality check. I give you back. But that is so insulting, not only to me, but to fucking Anthony. Thank God the person that said it isn't close with him. But what a dumb fucking terrible fucking insulting thing to say to me. To keep yourself introduced into the fucking conversation. And if Anthony wants to do a show with me, he'll reach out to me. And if he doesn't, I don't think I'll give a fuck. I get my $8 either way.
Well, people just suck. We know this already. So, but I'm friends with Anthony, but not like you. But that sounds like a great idea, dude. It's
a win-win. Anthony loves doing stand-up.
But that's how legends are formed. You do a Sunday night. You pick a night that nobody's coming out. You get Anthony, and you get a bunch of really, really good comedians that all vibe together, and then you do a show, and everybody breaks each other's balls, and people just love that. And then you broadcast it live too. You know what I'm saying?
It would have to be Saturday night, but now because he does the Sunday night show, it could be a fucking fun Sunday matinee.
Yeah,
that's probably even better because we wouldn't have to take up their money night, and people with jobs wouldn't mind coming out Sunday early. I think that's great.
I was just thinking, when in the beginning of the conversation, when you were talking about John and, you coming up as a comedian, well, didn't John also play the clubs and come up? But as a comedian, what makes it like a different between how he came up and how you came up?
I moved to New York. I hung out at clubs. I got spots at fucking bar shows and stuff. And then other comedians saw you, and then you get passed at clubs like, New York Comedy Club. I'll never forget when I got passed at Caroline's. Fucking amazing. Then you fucking get passed at the Cellar. You fuck that up after 2 months because you roll your eyes at no. But you work your way up, and it's all the time you're getting the reps. You're hanging around other funny people. You're fucking in that world. You're fucking, your mentality. You start to think like that. That's how you get there. And people, you don't get there by being like, well, I'm on a radio show and I'm famous, so I'll have people come out and see me. You don't get the same reps. You don't have the same, people. Not only that, you get genuine feedback when you're just a guy starting to do comedy because no one knows you. John Mayer used to fucking go up at the Cellar. John Mayer, the guitar player, and people laugh. He was never fucking funny. Did you see the clip Kevin Brett was playing about that?
So
nailed it.
Check this out. So I'm friends with Sherrod, right? And he invites me, my ex-wife, my good friend Russ, and his girlfriend to go down to the Comedy Cellar. And, we were partying that night and everything. And the two, my wife and my friend Russ's girlfriend, they wouldn't shut the fuck up during every set. Everybody's like shushing them, and they're just like, bibbidi. And now Sherrod's about to come up, and he goes, hold on, everybody. I got a special guest that wants to come up and do just 5 minutes. And it's fucking John Mayer. And all of a sudden, the two ladies, my ex-wife and this woman, just shut up, and we're like, and then they were like drooling. And then after and they were even talking during Sherrod's set, and we know Sherrod. We went down there because we were Sherrod's guests. And on the way out, Sherrod was waiting for us. He goes, "You want to come upstairs and smoke a joint with John Mayer?" And me and my friend we grabbed the ladies. We were like, "No, absolutely not."
So funny.
You're not hanging out with John Mayer. Dude, because my laptop, the battery's horrible. I'm plugged in and it says this thing, but if it's red, it's down to a thing. If this goes down, it's because of my battery. And I just want to say thank you very much for coming on. If it goes out, it doesn't mean we may have to go out to the end, but if it goes out, you know what? Let's just we got a lot of great stuff. It's been almost an hour.
Yeah.
Let's wrap it up because I want to be able to download this. I don't know if the battery dies, I'm not going to be able to download it. So let's just say, why don't you plug where you're going to be?
Again, you can see me. Look, you can follow me at Geno Bisconti on Twitter. Well, it's Geno_Bisconti. I stream every day on YouTube and Rumble at Geno Bisconti, just like it says in the caption with no space, GenoBisconte. And just follow me on Twitter. That's where I post all my stuff. But if you Google Geno Bisconti comedian, Linktree, whatever, everything comes up. I know that's stupid. And I'm gonna put this. I would love. Look, I'm gonna be honest here. I would love if you fucking put this as unlisted on your site. Sent me the link, and I could put it on my fucking Patreon and make a little money off of it. I don't look. I'm not being self-debt. What's that? Because I'm not trying to fuck you over. No, having me on your thing isn't going to be the make or break deal.
I'm gonna trade you. I need like maybe a half an hour of your time because I'll explain to you my situation. I just need your help with something like that. But you can use whatever I send you, make as much money as you can. You're gonna repay me with advice because you're good at that anyway.
Yeah, without a doubt, man. So that's where I am. And again, Oh, and I'm at Rodney's the last Sunday of every month. March 29th is the next Geno and Friends. And stay tuned. Hopefully Anthony will find the time. Maybe we'll do a Sunday fucking Geno and Friends comedians of the compound. That'd be even better. We'll
Maybe
make it work.
Out here to do something in Vegas.
Yeah. Oh, I'd love to do something. They're coming out to Vegas for Hackamania. You better be ready. Maybe I'll come out. Maybe I'll come out in April, stay with you, and say hi to
Dude, I got another bedroom with your own bathroom. Come on in. I swear to God.
Look, I'm not fucking around. I'll bring the wife and we'll crash there.
Yeah, dude, I got you. I'm not kidding.
I love it. No, trust me.
I got 2 bedrooms. I got 2 bathrooms. What the fuck?
Dude, done. I'll find a fucking I'll set a show up if I can. But dude, let me tell you, my wife loves the fucking warm weather, the pool. I fucking take her wherever I can. So plan on us taking you up on that repeatedly over the next couple months.
My door is open to you, my brother.
I love it. All right,
man.
That's good, buddy.
Thanks a lot for coming on, man. This means a lot to me.
Dude, I needed it. Thanks so much for letting me do that, buddy.
All right, I'll talk to you later.